Most asked question flood.
So that's an excellent question. When it comes to flood in the Houston market, the first thing that you got to remember if you're moving into the Houston area is that most of Houston is built on a bayou, right? Before there were houses, before there was anything, all the land was mud and continues to be mud, right? That's not something that's going to be rectified. That's most of the area is going to be mud. That's the first thing. Number two, what that turns into is that leads into eventually the houses have to settle, right? They don't slide off the land or fall into the ocean. They settle, right? So there's a little bit of movement the first few years, okay? Number three, FEMA has 4 different ways of giving kind of a designation to the areas that do and do not flood. And I can provide you a map of what that is, but I can just text you specifically the areas that are a higher probability. But essentially the basics are: number one, what is closest to a body of water, whether it's inland like a creek or a river, which we do have the mighty Brazos, or on the coast. You have number two, areas that are, because most of Texas is flat, you have some areas that not just are a little lower, but don't have good drainage, right? So those are going to be good drainage and close to a body of water, not as close to the first group. Number three, those are going to be the ones that if something like Harvey happens again, more than likely those will have a flood. And those are being protected essentially by man-made engineering type of drainage things that, they don't always get it right, but most times they do, right? So that's your number three. That's your number one would be...
In a quarter mile, turn right onto Texas 146 Business South North Alexander Drive.
Number one would be the areas that don't have that risk. However, does that mean that it will never flood? Absolutely not. It could. Anywhere could flood.